Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamashyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami. I bow to the Guru, who is the embodiment of bliss of Brahman, the giver of greatest beatitude, the Absolute, the personification of highest knowledge. He is beyond the pairs of opposites, like pleasure and pain, and untouched by evil, like the sky, who is indicated by the scriptures as thou art that, is one without a second, the eternal, the pure, the immovable, the witness of all mental modifications, abiding ever beyond thoughts and attributes. Om Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace be all. This morning our subject is Reminiscences of Brahmananda by his disciples. Brahmananda is one of the main disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. And he is my Guru's Guru. Once Sri Ramakrishna prayed to the Divine Mother, Mother, I am tired of speaking of these worldly people. Could you bring a spiritual boy who can look after me and I can talk to him? Within a few days, he has a vision. He found on the Ganges there is a lotus, big lotus. On that lotus, two boys are dancing. Then he had another vision that the Divine Mother put a child on his lap. Mother, I cannot have any child. I see all women are my mother. I cannot have a child. Then Divine Mother told him, it is the spiritual child, not physical child. So in June 1881, when Brahmananda arrived in Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna asked, what is your name? My name is Rakhal. Rakhal means cowherd boy, who grazes the cows. So in the previous incarnation, he was a companion of Krishna and grazing the cows in Vrindavan. Sri Ramakrishna asked him, yes. At that time he was married. He was born in 1863, 10 days after Vivekananda, in Boshi, in Shikrakulin Gram, 35 miles from Calcutta, east side. His mother died when he was a little child. So his father married again. So the stepmother raised him. Then, when he little grew up, there was no high school in Calcutta, in that village. So they sent him to Calcutta for higher education. But he was not interested in education. He joined in a gym where Swami Vivekananda was there, so they became close friends. And they joined Brahmo Samaj. a social religious organization in India. Then, seeing that he was not interested in study, his grandfather arranged his marriage, and he got married. So he came to see Sri Ramakrishna with his wife and in-laws. Sri Ramakrishna, seeing a person, the signs he can say, good signs, come again. Bas. He started to stay in Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna began to train him. Sri Ramakrishna's training is sometimes very interesting. He will see that how you sleep, how you eat, how you move, whether you can obey him or not. One day Sri Ramakrishna was telling him, Rakhal, could you give me a little massage to my feet? They are aching. Sir, I cannot do all those things. Because he was coming from a rich landlord's family. The servants do that job. Rakhal, I am a holy man asking you, please give a little massage. So unwillingly, sitting on the bed, he was pressing his Sri Ramakrishna's feet. Meanwhile, he saw a girl, 8 or 9 years old, with a red bordered cloth, encircled Sri Ramakrishna's bed steed a few times and then merged into Sri Ramakrishna. He was watching. It was Divine Mother. Then Sri Ramakrishna was telling Rakhal, did you get the benefit from massaging my feet? One day Brahmananda was complaining, I am staying here, I am not getting any spiritual experience. Sri Ramakrishna did not answer. He went for meditation in the Nath Mandir. In front of the Kali temple, there is a big portico. He sat. Sri Ramakrishna also came to the temple. He entered inside the shrine and he was dressing Sri Mother, Divine Mother's garlands and clothes. All of a sudden, a light came from the Divine Mother and engulfed Brahmananda. He could not bear it. He ran away. He ran away and went to Sri Ramakrishna's room. When Sri Ramakrishna returned from the shrine, you came so early, what is the matter? You did not meditate long. Then he told Master, he told his experience. Oh, you are complaining that you are not getting any experience. When you get the experience, that also you cannot bear it. What can I do? You see, if you really want to withstand, absorb the spiritual experience, you will have to be very strong. Ordinary people cannot bear that kind of spiritual upheaval. Then another time he was thinking, why am I doing here? I better go back home. One day he was trying to run away. That Sri Ramakrishna put a demarcation line on the outer skirt of the Dakshineshwar temple garden. He could not cross that line. He baffled. He tried several times to go away. He could not. Then he came back. Could you go? You will have to stay here. Divine Mother told me. He was a really deeply spiritual person, like a spiritual dynamo. One day he was in Calcutta. Sometimes in the bus we find some coins and this and that. He found a coin, 1 rupee, and he picked it up near the sea and gave to a beggar and came to Dakshineshwar and told Sri Ramakrishna what he did. Sri Ramakrishna scolded him. Why did you touch money? Sir, I touched money, but I gave to a beggar. I did not take it. Do you know what is Sri Ramakrishna's language? তুই মাছ খাবি না, মাছের বাজারে যাবি কেন? If you do not want to eat fish, why will you go to the fish market? That means you have some secret desire for it. It is very difficult. See, Ramakrishna's training is not an ordinary training. A train. One day Sri Ramakrishna said, at 12 o'clock, before bed, he remembered that he gave words to Jadu Mallik's place that I shall come and see you today. Whole day, many people came, Sri Ramakrishna forgot, but before midnight, it came to his mind. Sri Ramakrishna's words cannot be untrue. Every word must be true. So, immediately asked Brahmananda, hey, light the kerosene lantern. Then again, before bed, again walked another 15 minutes, went to Jadu Mallik's garden house, found the gate was closed. What to do? So he pushed the gate and put one leg inside the property and says, hello Jadu, here I come. Then again came back to Dakshineshwar in his room. Brahmananda later life mentioned Sri Ramakrishna's Shotta Nishtha, steadfast devotion for the truth. I'm just telling you how Sri Ramakrishna trained his disciples. Amazing. Anyhow, Sri Ramakrishna passed away in 1886. Then the disciples built Baranagar Monastery, early part of October 1886. Then they moved around. They traveled many holy places and they started to practice austerity. So in Puri, when he was meditating long hours, Swami Shubhadananda, another monastic disciple, was telling, Maharaj, you have attained illumination, Sri Ramakrishna blessed you, you have reached the highest. Why are you practicing so much spiritual disciplines and austerity? Brahmananda said, পিতার সম্পত্তি কি আছে সেইটা দেখবার জন্য। When your parents die, what do? At that time you go and check how much bank balance, how much real estate, how much stocks and bonds, all these things are. You try to collect all these information about your dead parents' estate, property. Correct? But that I am doing. Sri Ramakrishna passed away. How much spiritual wealth he had, that I am trying to evaluate through my meditation and prayer and spiritual disciplines. You see, if you are not spiritual, you will not understand a spiritual person. As Sri Ramakrishna says, only a hemp smoker understands a hemp smoker. A doctor understands a doctor. A lawyer understands a lawyer. Similar business. They understand each other better. So, if you really want to understand a really spiritual person, you will have to be spiritual. Otherwise, as Sri Ramakrishna says, only an eggplant seller cannot understand the value of a jewel. Only the jeweler understands the value of the jewel. The cloth merchant, eggplant seller, they cannot understand the value of a jewel or ornaments. That is said. Practice severe austerities. One story I shall tell you, it happened in Ajodhya, the birthplace of Rama. At that time there was a famine in that area. No food. So Swami Chetanananda went and baked some kochu, that root which grows under the ground. There are two varieties. One variety is good, one variety has biting, allergic. So if he boiled that thing, you get, And he ate that kochu, that boiled roots, and his whole face swelled. Red, swelled and itching. Do you know what is the antidote? Lemon juice. You will have to rub lemon juice on our face. That is the antidote. And it is off-season, lemon is not available. Turyananda was very sad seeing his brother disciples suffering like anything. He went nearby and found a big lemon grove. He went to the owner, could you give us a few lemons? He said, it is off-season. There is no lemons in the garden. So Turyananda went into the garden and found a few lemons. He picked them up and brought to Swami Brahmananda. At that time, Brahmananda talked to Sri Ramakrishna, Master, you brought me. You made me a monk. And can you not give me a morsel of food? Tomorrow morning, if I get khichdi and pickles, then I shall understand that you exist. Do you know what happened? Next early in the morning, both Turyananda and Swami Brahmananda went to take bath in the Saraju river. And in the meantime, a man came and asked, he is also a monk. Hello, holy man, you have taken your bath, please come and have bhiksha, have alms put in my cottage. Who are you? I do not know you. No, you are the person, you will have to come. I do not know you, I have never met you. So Brahmananda, when he requested again and again, they went and they found this monk made khichdi and pickles and gave to him. He said, I was sleeping. At 3 o'clock, Lord Rama appeared before me and said, my 2 children will be coming tomorrow morning to take bath in the Saraju river. You make some khichdi and pickles and feed them. And they got the food. Then while coming, Swami Brahmananda told Swami Turyananda, brother, Master exists. Master exists. I told him last night, look, you know, those stories give us inspiration. Religion is not dead. God is not dead. Disciples also tested their gurus. Swamiji tested many times. Anyhow, then Swamiji made Swami Brahmananda the president of the Ramakrishna order. From 1897 till 1920, he was the president. He built, after Swamiji's passing away, many monasteries, recruited many monks. Many of his disciples came to America. Anyhow, that is a long story. I just give you a brief biographical sketch of Swami Brahmananda. Now I shall tell you about his reminiscences. How to live with a holy person is not so always easy. Swami Vishuddhanandaji, I met him, he was a vice president and became president. He died in 1963. I still remember. Vishuddhanandaji says, how to visit a holy place. It must be sometimes in 1908, we went to Rameshwaram, the famous Shivaji temple in South India, on the coast of the Indian Ocean. Maharaj got down from the train and just straight went to the temple. And Vishuddhananda and Ramakrishnananda and Brahmananda went, and his 2 attendants, they are carrying their baggage and everything to the palace of the king where they were supposed to stay. But Maharaj was very mad at them. You see, burn away, burn that luggage, and all these things. The rule is, the moment you come to this place, you must first visit the deity without washing your face. With dirty feet, you must run to the temple. That indicates that you have genuine love for God. You have genuine yearning, longing for God. I learned these things from Maharaj. Then in Rameshwaram, he was meditating, lost his consciousness. With 2-3 his attendants, and Ramakrishnananda was encircled him, so that the pilgrims will not hit him, will not walk over him. He lost outer consciousness. Then from Rameshwaram, he went to Meenakshi, very famous mother's temple in the south. One of the best gopurams in whole South India, Meenakshi temple in Madurai. Beautiful, gorgeous. I went there several times. You see, according to the rule that in the inside, if you want to go inside sanctuary, you will have to be a Brahmin. So the priest will ask, are you a Brahmin? And Swami Brahmananda's body is a Kayastha, is a Kshatriya, he is not Brahmin. But Ramakrishnananda, when he entered the entrance, he was in ecstasy. And Ramakrishnananda was shouting that he is a saint. In Tamil, they call it that Alvar, 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 Alvar. He is an illumined soul, he is a saint. And seeing him, the priest could not stop him. He went there to just tell, he was seeing the mother living. And all the monks encircled him, protected him. He used to recount that when we saw that how to visit a temple. But those impressions will go in your mind forever. Well, I went with Maharaj to see Vishwanath temple. And outside in the courtyard, you will find many bell leaves, flowers, all these things. So this sweeper sweeps. Brahmananda took that broom from the sweeper and just started to sweep the courtyard. Then he told the monks, you know, when I was sweeping, I get so much bliss and peace that I am serving the Lord, which that kind of joy, peace I do not get even in meditation. Here is the president of the Ramakrishna order sweeping the floor of the temple. Ramakrishna's disciple, illumined soul. But those things are, you are supposed to learn what is called humility. You will have to be humble. Ego will not work in the temple, in the domain of spirituality. Swami Chetanananda said in Banaras, hot summer, no air condition, no electricity. But there is a palm leaf fan, Maharaj was lying down, I was fanning him so that he could get a little sleep. My hand was aching. Then I was thinking, you know, if I be at home, if I would get married, and if I had children, and if I had to earn money, how much effort and struggle and I had to make. And here I am serving an holy person. I should not complain. He's thinking about himself. Immediately Maharaj looked at him and said, go and sleep now. He was testing. Another monk, very interesting story. Achha, let me see whether Maharaj is antarjami or not. Antarjami means he who knows inside, indwelling self, called antarjami. He was telling Let me see whether Maharaj can understand me or not. Well, I shall try to think a very bad thoughts while massaging Maharaj. So he was massaging Maharaj's feet and was trying to think a bad thought. 5-7 minutes he tried. Then Maharaj looked at him and said, could you succeed? Could you succeed to raise a bad thought in your mind? Wherever they go, they create a tremendous spiritual atmosphere. Ma Manushmara Juddhaja. That's a beautiful. Very interesting. Swami Chetanananda, another disciple of Maharaj, said, Maharaj, sometimes we renounced everything, still among the monks there is so much friction time to time. Could you tell me why? In your family life also, sometimes friction. Why? Maharaj said, do you know what? Because you do not have love for God, love for Sri Ramakrishna. Always remember, all frictions come from ego. I think I can do best to the world, you think you can do best to the world. But friction. One day Swami Brahmananda was seated, those who have seen Balloon Math, east side of his room there is a veranda, upper floor facing the Ganges. And Prabhas Maharaj, he was the brother of Sharat Chandra Chatterjee, the famous novelist. Prabhas, you will have to go to Vrindavan and take the charge of the Vrindavan ashrama. Maharaj, of course, if you order me, I shall go, but what shall I have to do there? Just give homeopathic medicine to some poor monks and poor people. Maharaj, I do not know age of homeopathy. Then Maharaj said, listen, when a patient comes, listen his complaint. Then there is a Materia Magica. I have one. NC Dasha's Materia Magica. This volume, all homeopathic. I sometimes read. And I treat myself. I have some homeopathic, anyhow. So just listen to the symptoms and then compare with the symptoms in the book. Then select the medicine and at that time meditate. That which medicine will work. Homeopathic, many choices, you know. At least homeopathic does not have any reaction. You will not die. That is sure and certain. Allopathic medicine sometimes is very dangerous. So then the medicine will flash in your mind, give that medicine, chanting Sri Ramakrishna's name. That will work. And he became a very successful person. Same thing Swami Chetanananda did it in Kankal. I shall tell you another funny story of Bigyanananda in Allahabad. He was a Jari disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. The homeopathic doctor left. So many people are coming, what to do? He went there and sat. When the patient comes and women started to tell their problems, hey Maiji, bimar mat bolu. And don't talk about disease. Take the medicine, go home. And that person was cured. Only he's a Nwara Brahman. Whatever you will give, it will cure you. My goodness, then the many patients started to pose in the ashrama. Shh. Bimar. Mat bolo. Take the medicine, go home. Swami Vishuddhananda said, a few days before Sri Ramakrishna was passing away in Kashipur Garden House, Master was lying down on the floor bed. Then there was a picture of Sri Ramakrishna, cross-legged, shrine pictures. He asked Brahmananda, bring that picture to me. There's a cancer patient's bedridden. So when the picture was brought, bring some flowers from the garden. So my brother, sitting on his bed, he took the flowers and put on his own picture. and told the disciples, এরপরে ঘরে ঘরে এর পুজো হবে. Later, henceforth, this picture will be worshipped in many, many, many homes. That's Sri Ramakrishna said. If you go to Calcutta, you can see many shops, even the cab drivers have a picture of Sri Ramakrishna, a plastic photograph on the dashboard. Ramakrishna is everywhere. He was telling how much affection he had for us. I was his attendant. I went somewhere, came late. I know the food time, lunch time will be over. So I hurriedly went to the kitchen, make a couple of vegetables, and one vegetable and one boiled things, and I boiled milk and give banana and sweets. Quickly I fixed that lunch for Maharaj. Maharaj sat down, put that curry that with banana, raw banana, he made that thing. He put down. Then he took rice, milk, and ripe banana, and some sweets, and he mixed them together and ate it, and gave to him. Then, you come and you sit down and eat. The moment he put his thing out, he gave salt 3 times. It is too much salty. He could not eat it. Then he was thinking, shh. I was so nervous, by mistake I gave salt, thought I forgot it, again gave salt. He did not scold me. Then in Madras, sometimes in the corridor, in between my service to the Swami, I used to read complete words of Swami Vivekananda. Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda saw it, he patted my back and said, if you sincerely read the complete words of Swami Vivekananda, you will not have to read too many scriptures. Swamiji says the quintessence of Vedanta through his lectures and classes. Read Swamiji well. Then he was telling Maharaj, sometimes in spiritual life we start and then we feel a terrible dry period, the dark night of the soul. What to do? Sometimes it is mechanical. We do not get some kind of stimulation inside. Maharaj said, that is the way it goes. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Practice, practice, practice. In a spiritual life, there is no shortcut. Then he gave him an advice. When these things come, don't give up your japam and meditation morning and evening. You must sit down. Continue. The mind fluctuates. It goes ups and downs. When it will go up, again immediately we will go in higher plane. That is the way it works. Don't give up. Then he says, when you meditate, at that time you think that your chosen deity, like a wish-fulfilling tree, is standing in front of you and offering you whatever you want. Or think that you are in the ocean, engulfed by various high waves, and God is standing in front of you and wants to rescue you. And let me tell you a secret. Whenever you do anything, just suppose we are doing some cooking and cleaning, repeat mantra. But then it becomes Sharan Manan, recollections. That will help you. Then do you know what happens in spiritual life? They call it Pholgudhara. Pholgudhara means inner current will flow through the mind. All the time a current is flowing, a spiritual current. It comes from repetition of practice. Practice. That is Swami Chetananda's memoirs. Beautiful. Then Swami Jyotisharanandaji, he is also a great monk. He came to Germany in 1930s. He came to America, started a center in Philadelphia. Then he returned to India, I think in 1950, and just stayed in Bangalore for many years, inspired many people in the south. Many monks and nuns joined through his influence. Great Swami. He was appointed to be the editor of Prabuddha Bharata in Mayavati, in the Himalayas. He told Maharaj, I don't know, perhaps I'm not the right person. Then Maharaj was training him. Learn to write an article every day. Well, I have no ideas, but read. And whatever you are listening from us, seeing us, those things you write, that thing you communicate with people. I remember in one incident, Swami Shivananda was telling Kamaleshwarananda, hey, where are you going? Oh, we have a class on the Upanishad. Upanishad? Read our lives. Our lives are Upanishads. We experience the Upanishads. We realize the Upanishads. Read our lives. Those are the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. It's all knowers of Brahman. Then Brahmananda taught him, learn how to think deeply. Before you do anything, think of the master. In the middle, think of the master. At the end, think of the master. Later on, you will find so many ideas will come, you will not be able to hold it. Most people do not know how to think deeply, study deeply. In Swami Jyotisharanandaji's books, you will see, very deep. In 1921, Swami Brahmananda told Swami Jyotisharananda, do exercise every day. You must be strong physically, intellectually, morally, and spiritually. And spread the message of Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji. They will do good to humanity. Go to door and spread their message. This is a Mahasadhan. This is a great spiritual endeavor. Then Swami Brahmananda loved Ramanuja's life. Ramanuja was a great saint and a great commentator of the Upanishad, Gita, Brahma Sutra. He went to his Guru. Guru said, I shall give you a mantra. This mantra is very powerful. Whoever will listen to this mantra, he will go to heaven. He will get liberation. But don't share it with anybody. Ramanuja got this mantra and ran to a public place and gathered many people and shouted, hey, all of you come here, I shall give you a mantra. If you listen to this mantra, you will go to heaven. You will be liberated. So he shouted that mantra, famous Vishnu mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. But the news reached the Guru. Guru was very upset. Guru called him and said, I forbade you to share that mantra with others. You will go to hell. You disobey your Guru. Then Ramanuja said, Master, that would be fine. But you said that those who have listened, those who have heard this mantra would be liberated. So these thousands of people will go to heaven. I shall go to hell. Then Guru understood the greatness of his disciples. Swami Brahmananda asked one of his disciples, who was an actor and playwright, enact this drama on the stage in Calcutta. And he helped him. Swami Chetanananda complained, Maharaj, I am meditating, practicing spiritual discipline, but my heart is not opening. Closed, my heart is closed. Maharaj told him a technique. You see, these people know how to open the heart. Tu Purush Sharan kar, Mahanisha jap kar. Purush Sharan is a vow of repeating mantra. Do you know how does it? There are various kinds of Purush Sharan. I shall tell you one simple one. Today, you repeat mantra 1,000. Next day, 2,000. In this way, 14 days when it goes, 14,000. Which is called ascending order. Then again come down, 14,000, 13,000, 12,000, 11,000. In this way again you come to 1,000. In this way you go back and forth, back and forth. Your heart will open. Or Mahanisha jap kar. Meditate at midnight, just 12 o'clock at night. At that time the whole world sleeps. The yogi awakes. He told him one of his own experiences. But in Vrindavan, I used to meditate in midnight. So I took early supper and I thought, let me take a little nap, and then I shall start meditation at 12 o'clock. My goodness, I fell asleep. Then a Vaishnava saint came to my room. He's a good spirit, not a real human being. Hey, it is 12 o'clock. Will you not start your meditation? Get up. I got up and I saw a person is seated in the corner and repeating mantra. I was not scared, a little bit, but not fully scared. Then he was repeating mantra. I got up and I started repeating mantra. But several days I saw him. Then he disappeared. You see, when you take a vow, God helps. He makes, if you are sincere, He will make your spiritual journey favorable. Jyotisharananda says, Maharaj, hey, how is your meditation japam going on? Too much work, I do not get time. That is the wrong excuse. Your mind is restless. That is the reason you say that. Work and worship, work as worship, work is worship. Work must go along with our japam and meditation. Swami Nirvanananda, also one of the attendants of Swami Brahmananda. Great Swami. He wrote a huge volume about his guru. I shall tell you a couple of small incidents. Sometimes he would come to the shrine store. Do you know what is they call it? Thakur Bhandar. Do you know what that means? In that place they cut the fruits. They make the sandal paste. They make the garlands. Then it goes to the shrine. So this is the back, you will find a store. That is all, several monks, they do that job. So he would come and ask, what are you doing? Maharaj, I am making sandal paste, I am making garland. Continue your mantra along with it. You repeat mantra, and you can cook, you can vacuum. Just connect your mantra with it. Then he asked the monks, Ajahn, you peel the potatoes and bring the peel and the potato to me. So the monks brought the potato and the peel. seeing that thing, this monk is meditating well. He cut the skin so thin without taking the flesh. But he has very good concentration. Sometimes we peel potatoes like this, so many flesh go away. Very lean, thin layer of skin will go away. How he used to train the monks. Little things, concentration. Swami Vivekananda made that Pavhari Baba. The concentration he used to shine his brass pot. The same concentration he used for meditation. And Swamiji learned from him, Yan sadhan tan siddhi. Your effort, your spiritual discipline depends, if it is sincere, you will get the result also. Believe Swami Brahmananda was a Nuara Brahman, spiritual Jainam. He was the president of the order. After the trustee meeting, Swami Sharadananda came, Maharaj, you are the president, we need your signature. Today my mind is not right, you come tomorrow. Next day, Swami Sharadananda went with the paper. He took the pen. I forgot the spelling of my name. Come tomorrow. It came tomorrow. When his mind remains such a higher plane, he cannot bring to the lower plane. These things, when we read, and we compare ourselves where we are. These people demonstrated what is called true religion. That is the reason I ask people, read these books. Recently one of our devotees was telling me, Swami, do you know what I am doing? He is a retired person. I read one chapter of Holy Mother's book every day, which we wrote, that Holy Mother and Sri Sahasra Devi and the Divine Play. One chapter every day I read. That is my holy company. Swami Chetanananda, I never met him, but his reminiscences are so beautiful, very rough, indisciplined, restless, uncontrollable, quarrelsome, and became attendant of Swami Brahmananda. Maharaj loved to, the people who cannot handle other people, they which come, Maharaj, with her love, with his love and affection and compassion, change their minds. Change their minds. Change the character. That takes, giving a lecture is easy. To change your life, to change your character, that is something. Brahmananda did it. Swami Premananda one day took this Mukteswarananda, Ishwar Maharaj. You quarrel, fight. He grabbed him and took him to Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda. Maharaj, this boy quarrels everybody, fights and does not obey, rough, disobedient. Please put your hand on his head and bless him so that he can be normal and come down. Maharaj, Baba Ramda, my hand is not good today. Why don't you put your hand on his head? The two brother disciples are talking, Then Brahmananda, Swami Baba Ramana, Premananda grabbed Maharaj's hand and pressed on this boy's head. Boom! Immediately Brahmananda changed. Something possessed him. And that boy was unmoved. Then Premananda pushed him and said, Maharaj, now put your hand on my head. So Maharaj put his head. Then Premananda called other monks, hey, come, Maharaj is in great ecstasy. Take his blessings. So all monks came and Maharaj blessed him. Later on, one devotee came, Maharaj got up. Maharaj, will you not touch my head? No, jo aaya wo chala gaya. The person who came, he left me. Jo aaya wo chala gaya. They used to teach little things. I was in Puri. After Puri, there is a water scarcity in Puri. So, after lunch, Swami Maharaj says, I shall rinse my mouth and wash my hand to the plant which I planted yesterday. I shall go to the garden, so that that plant may get a little water. But these things, watch. His feeling for the trees. In the South India, there is a Nagalingam, beautiful flower. I think I have never seen that nature can produce some kind of flower. It is unthinkable. He brought Nagalingam and planted in Belur Math. And from in Bengal, he took Dopatiya full and put it in Bangalore. Beautiful garden. He would check mango plant from one place to another place. He was very fond of gardening, dairy, vegetable garden, flower garden. He used to encourage the monks. Ashrama should be very neat, clean, beautiful, self-sufficient. Training, nowadays we do not get that kind of training, but time changed. We are now with computer. I remember I met a Swami in Puri, Biren Maharaj. He told me, so he used to do the gardening. Maharaj told us that two persons will never betray you, tree and cow. Cow will give you milk, cow dung, which is a fertilizer, and trees will give you fruits, flowers, then shade, and when it will die, it will give you the firewood. These two persons will never betray you, cow and tree. You used to go to the cows and caress them, feed them. You used to watch this cow is looking sickly, feed more. Then he told about monastic spiritual life, the dangerous period. 16 to 30 are the best period in monastic life, in spiritual life. Do you know why? At that time you have energy. Blood is very strong. You can make tremendous progress. 16 to 30, you have vigorous youth. What is the dangerous period? 45 to 60. Many people fall. At that time, middle age, the power of the mind declines. He used to caution the monks. When you are young, earn money, put it in the bank, invest, then you will not have to worry about financial problem in old age. That is the way it goes. Same thing about spiritual life. When you are strong, gather something. I sometimes tell people, as long as you are physically strong, mentally strong, do something. Invest in, gather something and put into the bank so that interest you will get later. And in the beginning, if you go slow, frustration will come in the monastic life, the spiritual life. What have I achieved? 40 years, 50 years in the monastery. Emptiness. He was cautioning that be careful. Once a devotee came from Calcutta, Swami Brahmananda bowed down to him. Maharaj, what are you doing? You are a man of renunciation and I am a householder, you are bowing down to me. Swami Brahmananda said, your renunciation surpassed my renunciation. Do you know why? I left the unreal world for the real God, and you left the real God for unreal world. So your renunciation is more than me. There are, Maharaj once says, somebody says Swamiji was Kopal Mochan. Kopal Mochan, do you know what Kopal Mochan means? What is written on your forehead in predestination. But he can erase it and wipe out your bad karma. He can destroy it and change your whole life. But Ami Kopal Mochan. There are two women, they are previously they are very prostitutes. Came to Maharaj in Balaram Mandir. They are in middle age, retired in their business. Maharaj used to say, sing some song for me. Oof. Those two women used to sing for Maharaj. Maharaj changed their lives. Gave spiritual instruction, follow. Love Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is the savior of the fallen, downtrodden. Change their lives. There is one actress, Tara Sundari. My goodness. I met her daughter in 1982 in Bhubaneswar. Near our monastery, she built a temple. She built a house there so that she can have the company of Maharaj. She was a famous actress in Calcutta. You see, at that time, girls from good family will never go to the theater. Only girls from red light district will go. So these people's lives were changed by Vivekananda, Swami Brahmananda. Kushum Harimati. There's one other young man, his name was Tabu. He did some kind of moral lapses, and he was afraid to come to Maharaj. He was very favorite to Maharaj. The Maharaj one day saw him at noontime. Hey, Tabu, Maharaj, come here. Did you see a huge water buffalo? Yes, Maharaj. Did you see the big horn of that buffalo? Yes. If a mosquito sits on the horn, does the buffalo feel that the mosquito is on my horn? The boy kept quiet. I am that water buffalo. That means you made a little mistake in your life. I don't care. You come to me. He saved many lives. You know, if you read their stories, you will feel what is called true spirituality. No hypocrisy, no hocus pocus business. Today is Brahmananda's birthday. Actual birthday is today. In Belur there is a big function. I shall tell you that Maharaj used to fill up to feed people. So today they will make Gopal Goppa and Moglai tea. I remember when we were in the monastery, at 9 o'clock the branch will come from the temple. Let me tell you the menu. Gopal Goppa. Moong dal, basmati rice, then konaishuti, peas, then cilantros, fresh coriander, potato, beet, carrot, mix together, boil and put ghee. And you can give cinnamon stick and whole cardamom also. Boil. That is called Gopal Goppa. Very nutritious and very delicious. And then he says, Mughlai tea. Do you know what is Mughlai tea? You boil the milk and in a cloth bag put cinnamon stick, whole cloves and whole cardamom. Tie it and boil it in that milk. That all the extract will go into the milk. And separately you make tea, fancy tea. The tea, that liquor, you mixed with the milk and then add sugar. Drink it, even in winter time you will perspire. I drank the tea in Kashmir. That is the way they bring heat in the body. Very interesting. Anyhow, I gave you 2 menus. That is not my menu, that's Swami Brahmananda's menus. Oh my goodness, just time is over. I shall read a little. Today is birthday, I want to read a little bit about his teachings. You see, when I was initiated, I was asking a spiritual question. So a monk told me, read Dharma Prasanga Swami Brahmananda, a Bengali book, Maharaj's teachings recorded by his disciples. And I translated that book. This is that book. We have here. February 1921. Maharaj, I am practicing japam and meditation mechanically. I am not acquiring any taste for them. What should I do? That is a common question. I am not getting any taste. Maharaj, is it possible to get that taste in the beginning? No. It just does not come at the outset. You will have to struggle hard to attain it. Direct all your energy to that one pursuit. Don't keep any other interest. Move onward and forward. Never be satisfied with a little progress. Try to create dissatisfaction in the mind, saying to yourself, what am I doing? I am not making any progress. The master used to say, Mother, another day is gone in vain, still thou art not revealed unto me. Every night before you go to bed, think for a while about how much time you have spent in doing good deeds, how much you have frittered away doing useless things, how much you have utilized in meditating, and how much you have wasted doing nothing at all. Make your mind strong through austerity and brahmacharya. The duty of a rich man's gatekeeper is to prevent thieves, cows, and other intruders from entering the state. Likewise, the mind is your gatekeeper. The stronger it is, the better protected you are. The mind has been compared to an unruly horse. Such a horse takes the rider in the wrong direction. Only he who can firmly hold the reins of the horse reaches his destination. Struggle on. What are you doing? Do you think it enough that you have renounced hearth and home and put on an ochre cloth? The garb of a monk. What have you achieved? Time is running out. Do not waste a single moment. Probably you will be able to practice hard another 3 or 4 years. And after that, your body and mind will become weak. Then it will be hard for you to do any sadhana. Can anybody achieve anything without labor? If you think that after attaining love, devotion, and faith, you will call on God, it will never happen. Light follows the rising of the sun. Similarly, when God appears, then love, devotion, and faith follow him as his retinue. There is a famous saying, if you think that you will take bath in the ocean when the waves subside, you will never get bath. Similarly, if you think all the problems of our family will be solved at that time, you will practice spiritual disciplines, it will never happen. People practice austerity to know God. Without austerity, nothing can be achieved. In the beginning of creation, Brahma, the creator first heard, tapas, tapas, tapas. which means if you want to know God, practice tapas, austerity. Don't you see how even the avatars had to go through so many hardships? What tremendous austerities Buddha, Shankara and Chaitanya practiced? What burning renunciation they had? Anyhow, he went on. It is a beautiful book. I always ask people that read this book. Your many questions about the spiritual life will be answered. Thank you. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhusya sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya drvinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Lord, thou art my mother, thou art my father, thou art my friend, thou art my companion, thou art my wealth, thou art my learning, thou art my all in all, O Lord. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.